costiveness, oh, I just had to say that word costiveness. I was so excited to tell you about it. Costiveness is Rule 1 of Section 5. So welcome to Section 5. Aw, aren't you happy to be here? Anyway, costiveness cannot long consist with health. Therefore, care should be taken to remove it at the beginning, and when it is removed, to prevent its return by soft, cool, opening diet. Anybody want to guess what costiveness means? Costiveness is an old Englishy word for constipation. Ha! I said constipation. Section 5, Rule 2. Obstructed perspiration, vulgarly called catching cold, is one great source of diseases. Whenever there appears the last sign of this, let it be removed by gentle sweats. Now, vulgarly called catching cold. So, if you, I have no idea what that one means, to be honest. Hold on, we'll take a short break and I'll try to figure it out and I'll be back with you. Bye-bye. Thank God for Google. No, seriously. Thank God for Google. So, obstructed perspiration, which I found out from the Thomsonian Recorder, Volume 2, which has been put online, is basically just what it sounds like. It means not being able to perspire, which is what they considered happened to you during the winter, which is why you got colds during the winter. So that's not entirely accurate, although Wesley says if you are feeling cold and you think that may be making you sick, well, just give yourself some gentle sweats. Warm yourself up. So maybe that's not a bad thing after all. Man, after that cold bath, I'm having a lot of problems perspiring. I think I need more flesh brush. We are to our final section of the primitive physics, Section 6. No lying this time, this really is the final section. Alright, Section 6, Rule 1. The passions have a greater influence upon health than most people are aware of. Passions. So, in other words, our addictions, our human finalities that lead us into things that maybe we shouldn't be into. Ooh la la. Section 6, Rule number 2. All violent and sudden passions disposed to or actually throw people into acute diseases. Some doom and gloom there, don't you think? Why? Why? Section 6, Rule 3. The slow and lasting passions, such as grief and hopeless love, bring on chronic disease. So, I can't help but thinking that that Wesley is referring to the psychosomatic nature of our desires and how that they can become emotionally unhealthy for us and thus also lead to physical unhealthiness. Section 6, Rule 4. Till the passions which cause the disease is calm, medicine is applied in vain. We're there. We're to the final rule. Oh, hold on a second, I have a special effect for this. Yay! And the final rule, so Section 6, Rule 5, is thus. The love of God, as it is the sovereign remedy of all miseries, so in particular it effectually prevents all the bodily disorders the passions introduce by keeping the passions themselves within due bounds, and by the unspeakable joy and perfect calm, serenity, and tranquility it gives the mind, it becomes the most powerful of all the means of health and long life. I'm thinking that that's a little bit of what John Wesley would call blessed assurance in God. Thank you. And we'll go into a brief conclusion. There's more! In conclusion, for all of those that have stayed with me through this entire presentation, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Remember to tip your waitress. I would just like to say that this primitive physic, it's just one of hundreds of publications that Wesley and his followers put out. And the printing press was a relatively new invention, and boy, did Wesley and his brother and the other leaders of the Methodist movement figure out how to leverage the printing press. I can't help but think that if Wesley was alive today, he'd be doing the same thing with the internet and helping to get the message out that way. But the printing press allowed them to, distribute their message to a lot of people without having to directly preach to them. And one of the reasons why this primitive physic was so good is because it was very common sense knowledge. It made a lot of sense. Access to a doctor and to good health care didn't really exist. You'll notice how there's nothing about leeching anywhere in the primitive physic, which was still a very popular technique back in that day. Not that I have anything against leeching. It even works in some situations, so maybe that's good folk medicine too. But the point being is that, the Wesleys, they went into a lot of debt making some of these publications. I mean, they just thought that it was so important. And then, crazy enough, on the publications that Wesley put out that made money, he quickly gave those profits away to the poor. To the people that needed them. And so, in a lot of ways, this primitive physic is, it's a social statement. It's saying that everybody deserves access to good health care, and that everybody should pursue their health in earnest, because that is part of their holiness. It's part of the gift that God gave them, not only the gift of creation of the body and being created in the image of God, but also the ability to pursue personal healthiness and to take care of those gifts, to be stewards of our own bodies. And so I hope you have enjoyed my presentation on John Wesley's primitive physic. I would like to give one more shout out to my test subject, Will. Will, thanks a lot for helping us out today. Hey, no problem. Glad to be of assistance. You're great, Dr. Flavor Flav, 23. What do you know? He likes me. Anyway, thanks once again for sitting through this presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. God bless.